Hi guys, welcome back to Forgetful Scholar, and this week we're going to chat about two books. A contemporary small town romance and a contemporary small town cozy mystery. Separate genres, both small towns, yes, but this week the weird common thread. So if you guys know, sometimes two separate books, two separate genres, and like they somehow have something really big in the story alike, and it's bizarre. This week the main characters, the MCs, are forcibly relocated. Maybe not forcibly, but like something happens family wise and they have to move from their big cities like Paris and New York and move to small town like Dream Harbor or Estes Park in Colorado. I probably gave away what books we're talking about this week, but here we are. So the first one is The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, Dream Harbor, Book 4 by Laurie Gilmore, and this is published 2025 and 361 pages. It was 3 stars. Is it me or is she really pumping out these books fast? She must have she had to have like them either half finished or already done before she got published, because this is like fast. And again, as always, hate the cover. Cover makes it look like cozy mystery. Is not. It's a small town contemporary romance, and spicy one at that. So be warned. Okay, so this centers around Archer and Iris. So we saw Iris in the last book. She helped the Kira who was opening the Christmas farm. She's like the front desk girl. She was very nice in that book. Kind of flighty. I think the author did a good job in that book showing her flighty but adorable. This book, wow. Okay, so when I was in Iris's POV, she annoyed the poop out of me. I was just like, holy moly. Have more than one okay, I'm sorry, it annoyed me so much it's hard to like articulate why. So in her POV, Iris would change emotions so quickly. It was like literally have emotion more than one paragraph. And no, horniness is not an emotion I'm looking for. That's the one emotion she had the whole time, horniness. But then she would go back from like starting argument, not starting argument, laughing, not like it was just, I think it was supposed to show her being flighty, but I was like, girl, call BetterHelp. I think you might need a mood stabilizer, and that's okay, because right now you're bothering the shit out of me. But it's interesting because when I'm in Archer's POV, who's the male lead, Iris was adorable, right? And in Archer's POV, I liked him, but when we went to Iris's POV about Archer, he was annoying. Why this was happening in this book, I don't know. It was just something about the chemistry seemed off. So Archer is a big famous chef in Paris. He doesn't know he had a daughter. He had a casual thing with his daughter Olive, her mother, 6 years ago. And Olive's mother never told Archer about her, which I think is kind of messed up. Like, it would be understandable if there's was no way for her to contact him, but they were sort of in the same industry and she knew where he was, and he knew who he remembered her instantly. So it felt a little, the secret baby in this. Normally I don't mind a secret baby. Sometimes those could be a fun story, you know, but this one it just didn't track why Olive was a secret baby. You know what I mean? It just didn't track for me. So he finds out about Olive because Olive's mother tragically gets in a car accident and passes away. Very sad. So he leaves Paris and goes to Dream Harbor to get to know his daughter. And his plan is, once his daughter is acquainted with him and more comfortable, he's going to take her back to Paris because that's where his job is, and he loves Paris and things like that. And in his POV, he's kind of wrestling with sudden parenthood of a traumatized 5-year-old. She's not talking to him when for a while in this book, because I guess he scares her, or, you know, she was very sheltered. I mean, on the page, it feels like Olive was very sheltered, very protected in Dream Harbor. So this guy she doesn't know shows up after her mom is gone, and she's only 5, you know, so it totally makes sense that she would, I think it's called selective mutism. I don't know. Like, she would talk to other people, but she wouldn't talk to him. Like, I understood. And like, she's in therapy and he's consulting the therapist. Like, even though this was not his plan, and even though his life got sidetracked and he's kind of waffles between being a little bit resentful of it and like wanting to do anything for his daughter, felt very realistic to me. It just did, because like, no one's a perfect parent. And all of a sudden you have a traumatized 5-year-old, and his bustling on his way to be a Michelin star chef gets sidetracked. He ends up in Dream Harbor, where he's working at the Pancake house as a cook, and like everything is that. So it made sense to me in his POV why he wasn't instantly Father of the Year, and how even though he had these moments, he felt guilty about it, and like you could see how much he cared about Olive, like all the things he did, try to connect with her, try to make everything okay. When she starts sleepwalking, he sleeps outside of her door, like things like that, you know. So it's not that I didn't like Archer. When we're in his POV, I liked him a lot. In Iris's POV, he just seemed like this weird, grumpy, high drama, not very likable. And then Iris's internal monologue of like, we shouldn't sleep together, but he's so hot, was a little much. Oh, how dare he say that? Oh, he's so funny, like a sentence later. Like, it was just a little too chaotic, I think, to follow. And it's a shame, because in Archer's POV, Iris does come off as flighty but really caring. So it was such a weird disconnect, you know, in that way. So he is working at the Pancake house, and he is a single father all of a sudden, and the people of Dream Harbor like the original pancake recipe, and he can't find it, and he's making all these amazing pancakes, but it's not the original pancake recipe. And I'm like, it's probably pancake mix. And spoiler, it was a pancake mix. I was like, oh, of course it was, you know. Iris is between, like, she's working like 3 jobs and still cannot pay rent. Girl, I get it. Oh boy, do I get it. So she takes the job as a live-in nanny for Olive, and I was like, ooh, I love that. That could be fun, because those tropes can be fun, right? Especially since I think the author did a great job of having Archer very like aware of the power dynamic, power imbalance, and like he was not going to cross that line, and like he really didn't. Iris kind of did first, so I think that was a good way of handling it, you know. But Iris was so and yeah, Archer is a perfectionist and temperamental in the kitchen, and before they meet, she hears him yelling at the people in the kitchen. As someone who has friends and family members that have worked throughout the restaurant industry, waiters, chefs, everything, like, I'm happy they brought this up too. Cooking can be really dangerous, especially in like an industrial kitchen. There's a lot of danger. So having a chef that is precise and a perfectionist isn't a bad thing. Also, outside the kitchen, if something's not cooked correctly, you could really hurt somebody. So I was like, again, maybe because, you know, I have people, friends and family that are in that industry that I'm like, yeah, temperamental, whatever. I mean, do I think Gordon Ramsay, for example, goes too far? Yeah, but you know what I mean. Anyway, side tangent over. Let's focus back in. Okay, so he's kind of failure after failure, and it's like really chipping away at him because Olive doesn't talk to him. He's not getting the pancakes right. Like, he just feels pretty blah, right? Iris at first is terrified of children, but then likes Olive, which I thought was fun. I thought that was fun. I like Iris and Olive's relationship. I did not like how Iris was like, so the other pairings from the earlier books come in, and I think this author does really well is bringing past couples in without taking over the story and making it feel like this is a close-knit community instead of like busybodies or like, oh, or just like it feels forced that they, oh, of course I'm gonna bring this, people love this character, you know. She doesn't this author does a really good job of like, hey, look who's here, Hazel and Noah, la la la, because it's a small community and they're friends. And it does feel like that. Dream Harbor does have the Gilmore Girls Star Hollow feel, and the author does that amazing. This book just was not, I think this is the one I like the least out of the Dream Harbor, which is sad because I love single parent getting romance. I do, I love that. And it's really kind of, or maybe I just haven't found a lot of where it's a single dad finding romance. So I, you know, it's just Iris was so annoying in her POV, like, and honestly, I didn't give two about their romance, which is sad because it's a romance book. I think I gave it 3 stars because it wasn't horrible. It was a little boring. It wasn't horrible, but I wasn't like really rooting for them. I think the only reason I finished the book was because I loved Olive and Archer's relationship. I love how it started because, of course, traumatized kid, she doesn't know who he is, and how it grows and how it develops. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cute, so sweet. You know, so that's what hooked me. That's why I finished the book, is because the father-daughter relationship, them becoming a family, her talking to her dad, like I was on the edge of my seat for that. I could not care about Iris and Archer in a romantic couple. I didn't care. So for a romance book, that's not really good. But I put it 3 stars because for me, I didn't like them, but I could see how other people would. Also, Archer's so cute. Like their little family, so cute. So that's also 3 stars, you know. I will say that I think like the Barnes and Nobles, whatever, has like an extra chapter. I hate when freaking people do that. Like oh, you can only get this chapter if you buy the Barnes and Noble ones, or if you buy the that annoys the crap out of me. And those exclusive chapters never mean anything, which is good because you don't want like an exclusive chapter that's like plot heavy and important in only in random books, right? So that's good, but it's just like, it's just an extra bit of fluff. Like, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Don't fall for it. So that's that one. Okay, so the second one is a cozy mystery steeped in mystery. Eerie Estes Mysteries, Book 1 by B.I. Skinner, published 2025 and 236 pages. So this takes place in Estes Park, State Park, little tiny town. And if you know, you know, but this is where the Stanley Hotel is. This is where Stephen King based The Shining, the book The Shining, and the movie The Shining on. So if that helps, you know. So Ellie is the main character. We're in her POV the whole time. I really liked her. There were some points I was like, Ellie, you were smarter than this. But, and there was a little bit of repetition. Some things like, in the beginning, it kind of tells you she has brown hair, green eyes, and freckles. And then later on, because her great aunt that she didn't know about dies, so she goes to the estate and she sees a picture of her great aunt, and they're like, oh, they look exactly alike. You know, I think it would have been better if we saw, like, figured out how she looked like from the picture of her aunt, just tiny, if I had to, you know, if I had a nitpick, that would be it. It's 3 stars. I enjoyed it. Was I really interested in the mystery? But I enjoyed it. Okay, so she is an investigative journalist in Manhattan for a made-up newspaper. Makes sense. She did really remind me of like Lois Lane, and I love that. So that's probably why I really liked her. She kind of had that personality. She gets downsized because paper media is, you know, having a rough time of it. So she gets downsized, and her boyfriend breaks up with her on her birthday because he's a jerk. And think about that. They're out to dinner, and he just casually, he's so excited he got a promotion, and he's like, well, obviously we had to break up, but we could still enjoy each other until I leave. And I was like, so basically he just kept like having, you know, when he was gonna dump her in like a week. And I was like, girl, when in your life do you have it's socially acceptable to have a telenovela moment and throw that wine in that guy's face. You had the moment, you could have done it, no one would have blamed you, and you didn't do it. Oh, missed opportunity. That would have been great. But she's like, fine, whatever, and she goes to Colorado for and her aunt owns this this cozy bookstore that has tea and the apartments on top, right? And the town sounds angelic. The Steeped in Spines or something like that sounds so cozy and like so amazing, you know, for a store. The small town, and I get it because she's from New York and then she moves to a small town where everyone says hello when you pop. I get it. When I moved from New Jersey to where I'm living now, it's a smaller town. People know who, like, people just like, hi, when they're driving by, they wave. Like, it took a while to get used to because I was like, what are you doing? What do you want? What are you after? But now I'm like, oh, politeness. Okay. So she moves there, and turns out the bookstore's haunted, and she has an inherent power to see ghosts from her great aunt. Cool. Okay. Baxter is a ghost that is cursed by a witch. I was like, all right. And there's a sassy cat named Hobbs, which was adorable. The thing is, throughout the whole book, she's like, well, I'm going to go back to New York. I'm going to go back to New York. And like, I understand it was to show that she was stubborn, but also when it comes up in more than once in one page, it could get a little too much, a little too repetitive, you know? Every time someone, oh, I'm so happy you opened the shop. Oh, it's just temporary. I'm going back to New York. Like every time. And like, I get it. You know, maybe just like once in a while that could come up. I felt like that, honestly, like the repetitive nature of it is the reason it's 3 stars instead of 4, because it's just too repetitive sometimes. I like the character. She's funny. She's smart. She is very impulsive. And she was like that through the whole book. There's some decisions she makes that I'm like, you were smarter than this. Well, when she was really dumb, it came to ghosts, right? And she's talking to a ghost, and he's trying to explain another ghost is trying to give her a message. And she's like, oh, please, no, that's ridiculous. As she's talking to a ghost, I was like, girl, you were literally arguing to a ghost about another ghost's communication to you. That's a little ridiculous. Like, that was a little ridiculous. So she finds a dead body. I know, what a segue. She finds a dead body, and the cop, Detective Noah Morrison, I think, he's kind of an a-hole the whole time. Like, he's just, he suspects her. She's the main suspect. He gets mad that she is investigating as well. And I'm like, bro, she's an investigative journalist. And you pretty much told her you think it's her. And the way you're acting doesn't seem like you're looking for anybody else. So what do you mean? Also, you're in a cozy mystery. That is how the genre works. The small town is a lot of fun. I like the characters in it. I don't know, like it's definitely like a Colorado mountain town. Like, it's cozy, but it feels cold and beautiful at the same time. I don't know. The author did an amazing job of it. The dead body is a wellness guru that was killed. So there was a lot of suspects. I like the final confrontation on the page, and how, because there's even like a side quest of Ellie helping the woman that owns the local diner, because her father recently passed away, and that's the ghost that's communicating with her, that she was arguing with Baxter about. Anyway, and again, Baxter is the ghost that's cursed by the witch. So like, anyway, and I was like, oh, I wonder if it's gonna tie in. Like, maybe it's not gonna tie in. Maybe this is just supposed to be like a separate, like her coming to grips with her powers, which is perfectly fine and it works, right? But it tied it nicely to the final conflict that was on the page. I enjoyed that a lot. That was a lot of fun. I liked how the mystery all tied up, and looking back, you could piece together who was the bad guy, you know, without it being too obvious, which, you know, I love when that happens. So I really enjoyed this, and I want to continue with the series. I think it's a lot of fun. So yeah, maybe the next one, it won't be so repetitive, just because she's like, oh no, it's temporary, I'm going to New York. It's temporary, I'm going to New York. Temporary, I'm going to New York. Am I going to New York? Yeah, I am going to New York. Like, it was just a little too much in it. You know what I mean? I would take out maybe 4 or 5 of those moments. But no, I enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.